Yeah, good morning and welcome to another session. Since this month is the month of love, and love we normally relate it to the heart. Okay, so when we talk about heart, it's very important to know what causes heart attacks. Okay, so please don't get worried about today's after today's session. I know it's a triggering point for many because one student left my class ki aap itna baat karte ho heart attack ka and my husband is obese and my husband doesn't follow this diet, so I'm not coming to your class because I don't feel good. So see, don't take it negatively. These sessions, these are empowering sessions. This can save you from a lot of trouble. So if your husband is doing something wrong, if you are doing something wrong, if your child is doing something wrong, at least you are aware now that this is going wrong. Why wait for that wake up signal? If some adverse event happen and then you come to me ki sir kya karna hai, take it as a prevention. Take this session as a wake up call today. Okay, so it's a complete medical topic today. Atherosclerosis. Okay, so don't get worried about the word. What is atherosclerosis? This is just blend. I'll just start my presentation. So I have made a PPT. So I'm going to make these all these concepts, medical concepts. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want, and I'll just keep putting 2 or 3 videos, if not more, about medical concepts. And this month's concept, atherosclerosis, which is the buildup of plaque in the arteries of the heart. Okay, so I'm just going to start my slideshow. Can you look at the screen? Somebody say yes, no. Okay, it will start very soon. Yeah,
Yes, now we can see.
great, thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to start the PPT. Sharing is a bit slow. I don't know why. Okay, because of the TV. Yeah. Yes. What can you look right now? Is visible on the
Blank
screen?
screen.
Blank screen. Okay. Come. I'll just start the screen share again. I've stopped the screen share. I'll just try one last time, else I'll do it without a PPT. Can somebody say what you're looking at the screen right now? Sharon, can you see Sharon? Great. So Sharan, as you all know, stands for Sanctuary for Health and Reconnection to Animals and Nature. And Sharan is more about consultations now. So we have doctors also in our team, which can help you, lifestyle medicine doctors, health coaches, nutritionists, who can help you reverse heart disease also. Okay. So today's topic is understanding atherosclerosis. I will take 20 minutes of your time today. So please be mindful of that. Anybody coming for exercise? Exercise will start at 7:20. Okay, so I'm an integrative nutrition health coach. So we practice lifestyle as medicine, and the integrative medicine is all about healing yourself, that your body can heal yourself. Okay, let us understand first what is atherosclerosis. So atherosclerosis actually is a very dangerous condition in which fats, cholesterol, calcium and other substances, so ये चार मिलके एक plaque बन जाता है हमारी artery में, which build up and clogs our arteries of the heart. Okay, so जब हार्ट में होता है तो उसको बोलते हैं, this can happen anywhere in your body. It cannot, it doesn't only happen in your heart. It can happen in your brain, in your kidneys, in your intestine, in your legs. Anywhere atherosclerosis can happen. But when it happens in your heart, it is known as coronary artery disease. Okay, so this is the process of atherosclerosis. If you can see the top left one, this is a normal artery. Okay, and when the plaque buildup happens, the yellow part that you are seeing, that is the plaque that is happening, which is blocking the flow of blood. And it can form blood clots, it can rupture, it can cause many adverse events like heart attacks and strokes. So we need to be very careful of this plaque. Okay, what are the symptoms? It is a silent process. It starts as early as the age of 10 nowadays. So in Gujarat, there was a statistic last year that over 80% of heart attacks are happening in the age of 11 to 25. Okay. Why it's so fast? Just because of our diet and lifestyle. But normally people come to know nowadays, what I hear from my circle and everybody, ki 30s, 40s, 50s people are getting this. Earlier in the 60s and 70s people used to get it, but it's a silent thing. You won't come to know whether you're having plaque or not. There are no actual symptoms. You only come to know when things are going out of hand, like shortness of breath, chest pain, pain in your back, shoulders, neck. This can also be because of buildup of plaque in the arteries of the heart. Feeling lightheaded, dizzy, heart palpitations, fatigue, mental confusion. You can just take a photograph. So these are some of the symptoms. So if you are experiencing any of these symptoms, it is worthwhile to get your heart checked. So there are many tests that you can do, like blood tests for cholesterol. You can do stress test. You can do 2D echo. You can do like a CT angiogram, you can do angiogram. So many, these are all diagnostic tests that one can do if you are experiencing any of these symptoms. So don't take it lightly. But even if you don't experience symptoms, don't think that you don't have any. Most of us are carrying some plaque in our heart today just because of our lifestyle. Okay. What are the causes? One is high LDL. What we will learn today, we will learn more about LDL only. So I'm going to take this session in parts. And triglycerides. So these two are bad cholesterols. Okay. Tobacco products and smoking. Smoking also causes plaque in the heart. High blood pressure. This is very logical because blood pressure actually forces your heart to work harder, and that also causes atherosclerosis. Diabetes. Oh, this is like a pandemic which is like killing people. Okay, this is much worse than COVID. Diabetes is much worse than COVID. And the good part is that it can be reversed very easily. Diabetes, this is one of the condition, even high BP, that can be reversed very easily. And obesity. So these are some of the general causes why atherosclerosis happen. Today we are going to learn specifically about one bad cholesterol, which is LDL. So what is LDL? It is known as, it's a low density lipoprotein. So cholesterol takes different forms in our body. Okay, and that all depends on the composition of fat, how much fat is there, how much cholesterol is there, and how much protein is there in that. I would say not cell exactly, but in the structure which carries these cholesterol. Okay, so this is the most dangerous. So if you have done your blood test, if you have done your lipid profile, you must be seeing there are 4 to 5 types of cholesterol. There is one total cholesterol, there is VLDL, there is LDL, there is HDL, this and triglycerides. Okay, these are normally reported in the blood tests. So LDL is the most dangerous. Why it is most dangerous, we will understand in the next session on Monday. But let's understand the basics of LDL today. Okay, it is produced in the liver. Okay, so it is actually produced in our own bodies, and it's also obtained from meat and dairy products. So anything which is not from the plant kingdom does bring some amount of LDL into your body. No plant-based food sources contain cholesterol. If you are eating a whole food plant-based diet, there is no way in the world any outside cholesterol can enter your body. Okay. And normal LDL level in the blood is below 100 milligrams per deciliter. Okay. So sometimes doctors say that even if you have 140, 150, it is still borderline. So why wait for that borderline LDL to go up? It can be very easily brought down. Like in many cases in my students also, I'm seeing the reports after 6 months of group coaching only, their LDL and triglyceride have come down drastically. So that is just one proof that LDL can be brought down naturally with diet and lifestyle changes. Okay, what can affect LDL level? This is very important. We should know. One, diet high in saturated fats. So saturated fats किसमें होता है? Okay, it's all in the processed food, all the industrialized foods that we eat. um, ghee is very high in saturated fat. Milk, cheese is very high in unhealthy fats for our body. See, fats are not bad. Okay, so don't just like say ki, हाँ, if you are eating fats it is bad. There are good fats also, like in you get from avocado, you get from nuts, you get from seeds, those contains healthy fats. But the fats you get from animal sources especially, that are very bad: red meat, chicken, eggs, it's very high in cholesterol, the yolk that we eat, and milk, like I said, cheese, paneer. So these are actually good for only taste, but it like we are like since birth now giving these things to our children, and no wonder children are being becoming insulin resistant, children are developing diabetes and even heart disease. So very careful out about saturated fats. Lack of physical activity. How this affects LDL is that there is another form of cholesterol which is known as HDL, high density lipoprotein. So what HDL does, it sucks LDL out of your blood. And there is no medicine in the world, no food in the world, and no supplement which can increase your HDL. Okay, so the only way to increase your HDL is by doing exercise. So that is why I stress so much on the importance of exercise, that at least 5 to 6 times in a week, 30 to 45 minutes of exercise is important, because that will actually increase HDL and bring down your LDL. Being overweight, like I said, this is like no brainer. If you are overweight, you are at a risk of high LDL and adverse cardiac events. Age, as people age, yes, this is not in our control, but what is in our control is a lifestyle that we can reverse aging also. Now we are learning through this classes Forever Young how the biomarkers of aging also can be reversed. But yes, if you're not following this, definitely aging is one risk factor for high LDL. Genetics, some people are like they say that because of their genes, yeah, it does impact. If your parents, grandparents, ancestors are having high LDL, you can also have that. But now we understand that the growing research behind epigenetics, that yes, your genes does affect your biology. You are coming with a loaded gun, but it's your lifestyle that pulls the trigger. So don't blame your parents or grandparents if they have diabetes or BP or high cholesterol. No, you can definitely do something about it. And certain medications like steroids and certain other medications for HIV and everything, they also increase LDL. Okay, how to reduce LDL? So this is from my Cornell. So you can just take a photograph if you want. I've talked about this many times. Consume whole foods. Whole foods matlab, it doesn't mean raw food. It doesn't mean you have to go on a completely raw diet. No, you can have cooked food also. So whole food is something kya hota hai, in simple language, which is not processed. Okay, which you get in whole form, which you make it yourself. You're not eating from a can. You're not eating foods which have a barcode. Okay, you should be able to recognize कि आप जब खाने में डाल रहे हो क्या है ये. You should be able to name that, not wanting to look at the label. So the more whole foods you eat, the lower your LDL. Eat plant based. In fact, my professor at Cornell, he also was a big promoter of plant based foods. Not completely, I don't think he was completely plant based, but yes, he gradually they are like turning plant based diet, which is low in fat. So fat comes from oil, it comes from the how we make foods, especially in India. The way we are cooking, that is like killing us. Why there is so much of it, why India is called the diabetes capital of the world, cancer capital of the world, and so many things, just because we don't know how to cook properly. The way we are cooking foods, the maybe the pan we are using, the oils we are using, all these are unnecessary. So learn to cook properly, so that that added fat that you are getting, the bad fat, the saturated fat that we are getting from our diet, actually we can stop that, and we can reverse heart disease. Okay, smoking, no brainer. Stress management, no brainer, we have covered that a lot. Exercise should also be moderate. So people who do very intense training, these marathons, these triathlons, this Ironman and everything. See what we have done now. We are comparing ourselves to athletes and professionals. So athletes and professionals can manage those that amount of stress on the heart because they do rest it out, and they have this professional team who are handling their health. And we as householders, I'm talking about householders, we are actually not getting that amount of recovery, that amount of rest, that kind of diet which is required to sustain that level of training. So that's why in my classes also I never go very intense with training, because that is actually harming us. That activates our sympathetic nervous system, that increases oxidation in our body, and actually damages our heart. So exercise also कितना करना है? 30 to 45 minutes maximum in a day, 5 to 6 times in a week. Have a complete rest day also. That is also important. And psychological support. Loneliness can also increase LDL. So this is, I don't know what's the pathology, how it happens. If you are sad, depressed, so having a good community of people like we have in Forever Young here, we have such a motivating community of people. Just staying in the WhatsApp group, it's worth it. You get so much motivation, you feel a sense of oneness, that sense of community. That is also very important. Quickly, action steps what you can take. I'll just check the time, I have 4 more minutes. Yeah, so minimize the intake of industrialized products. So chips is not food. जो हम chips खाते हैं, biscuits are not food. These are industrialized products that has been produced in a factory with a very wrong combination of fats, salts, sodium, and everything that comes together, which is unnatural to us. Unnatural चीजें खाओगे, problem आनी ही है. Okay, eliminate refined oils from the diet. This is so important. Although these are plant based, but जो refined करके उसका पूरा फाइबर निकाल के सब न्यूट्रिशन निकाल के जो तेल देते हैं, बोलते हैं तेल से खाना टेस्टी बनता है, एक चम्मच कोई तेल टेस्ट करके देखो, मालूम पड़ जाएगा तेल का क्या टेस्ट होता है. इट्स जस्ट वी आर यूज्ड टू ईटिंग ऑयली फूड एंड वी फाइंड दैट टेस्टी. वंस यू स्टार्ट कुकिंग विदाउट ऑयल, believe me, your life will change forever. You will never touch that oil wala food. I cannot eat a food in a Indian marriage or buffet now because it is so oily. It is like it tastes opposite. It doesn't taste good at all. So learn to cook oil free. We have many oil free cooking classes in Sharon every month. They have so many sessions now. They are starting this. If you like to eat houseway, if you like to eat all the Asian foods, we have a classes for that also. So it's not that you have to miss anything. You can just need to learn things. कैसे हमें करना चाहिए. Time restricted feeding, this is again a no brainer. Intermittent fasting, एटलीस्ट 13 से 14 घंटा करिए आप. 13 to 14 hours of intermittent fasting. This does help you in bringing your cholesterol down. Weight management, bring your weight down. Don't try to justify if you're overweight ki my body structure is that and my parents were like this. My parents were both obese, but I'm like able to manage it very effortlessly with my own lifestyle. So don't blame. It has to be brought down. The samajh aayi, as simple as that. And check your cholesterol levels. So how often should you check your cholesterol levels? If you are following a whole food plant-based diet, then maybe once in 3 years is good enough. This is for adults I'm talking about. For adults in the age of 18 to 50. 18 to 50, आप check करिए. Once in 3 years. Above 50, once a year you should check your cholesterol level. It's a very simple test, just a blood test. Ideally I recommend 12 hours of fasting before you do this test. एक बार करा लीजिए. एंड बच्चों में 1 in 5 years करा लिया करिए, बिकॉज बच्चे भी आजकल जो खाना खा रहे हैं, वो जो बूढ़ों की बीमारी थी है बच्चों में हो रही है. तो मे बी इफ यू हैव अ चाइल्ड, अगर नहीं किया आपने, so just do it like once at the age of 10, once at the age of 15. Just get it checked. And if it is high, we need to do something about it. 3 hours that I learned at the Yoga Institute, very, very important. Relaxation, do some relaxation practices, very good for your heart. Recreation, um, don't like live life too seriously. Don't work 8 hours in 8 days in a week. Find some time for recreation every day, in fact, and work on your relationships. Yeah. So this is one. Just to end on a lighter note, I just don't want to make this too serious. Just to end a lighter note. So this is one I came across on a YouTube video. I just took a grab, and there is a patient and a doctor, and where doctor says that I can operate or you can go on a strict diet. So the patient says, doctor, better operate. Doctor told, are you sure? Bola, yes, because my insurance doesn't cover a strict diet. So today's session was not to scare you or anything, just to bring to your awareness that how important the practices that we are learning in these classes are important for our health. Yeah. I actually had a student who had this same thought process, that my insurance covers doesn't cover your fee for personal consultation, but it does cover that doctor's fee. So better I'll go to a doctor and take medicine and not come to you and take preventive medicine. This is the sad reality of today's day and age. So I hope I was able to explain in very easy language what LDL is and what is. So let's take it positively, that we are lucky to have this knowledge in such easy way. And let's make small changes in our lifestyle and diet. Don't get too overwhelmed, don't get worried if you are having something, but take baby steps. But consciously don't eat those wrong foods or meat and milk and everything, because we know that it is very high. लेकिन आप दूध को गर्म करिए, just need to, how that malai comes up on top, how that vessel becomes very greasy, that all goes into your body, and that is making your arteries greasy. वो बना रहा है उसको. And we eat thinking that हम तो सालों से खा रहे हैं इसलिए तो सब पछता रहे हैं. And believe me, medical costs, the way they are going up. Yesterday I had a client of mine, the sari business. His wife got breast cancer. I was shocked. He has already spent around 20 lakhs just on chemotherapy. Now the surgery and radiation will happen. And then another medication doctor told will be required, which is known as biologics, which will cost 16 lakhs separately. So around 70, 80 lakhs would be spent on breast cancer. And heart disease, we all know now, stenting in Bombay, if you get it done, it is between 5 and 10 lakhs, and a bypass cost anywhere between 25 and 30 lakhs. And that also doesn't improve the quality of your life. So all the more important for us to take these preventive steps. And the good thing is that even if you have clogged your arteries, you can reverse it. This is one reversible condition. So I'll just end this session on a positive note. I'm going to stop the recording. I'll just share the other part of the recording also. After 2 or 3 days, I'll share on YouTube. So thank you very much for joining. I'll stop the recording.